really great weather and coping as well as you could expect to be during this time. Welcome everybody to the Modern Instagram Live. Thank you so much to Modern for letting us take over. My name is Chelsea Mann. I'm a field educator with Wella Professional. I'm coming live from my private studio in St. Albert. And this is my colleague, Zina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zina. I am a field education trainer for Wella Professionals. I'm coming at you from my home in Calgary, Alberta. I'm super excited to be here. I even washed my hair for this occasion. So your hair looks really great, Chelsea.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, this is, I think, the first time in 6 weeks I've put makeup on my face. So for those of you that sort of are in the same boat, remember that we're in this together. So welcome to Modern Instagram. Like I said before, shout out to all of our West Coast stylists, to everybody that's tuning in. Thank you guys for being here. Woo woo. Like I said before, we're coming at you from a few different places in Alberta, but we have a bunch of educators with Wella that are online right now that are joining us as well. So shout out to all of those people that came yesterday. So for those of you that are wondering, I know that this is a pretty big, like, burning question, but I'm wearing pants right now, and I think that is too. Yep. Perfect. There you go. But I am also wearing slippers, which is pretty sweet for somebody who spends their days in the salon. Hey, Vancouver, what's up? Who spends their day in the salon wearing heels. So I'm excited about my slippers today. Got to find the small joys these days, I think. So a little bit of what to expect today, guys. We're going to be with you guys till 1:30, 1:40, something like that. We are going to do some hands-on stuff. I'm going to be some questions. So please, guys, if you guys have questions, please use the question cards at the bottom. If you look to the right of the comments, to the comment box there's a little square. It's pretty easy. There's a little thing that looks like a card that's got a question mark on it, question card. Go ahead and tap on that and you can type your questions in there. Keep them coming. Hey, Toronto, we see you. So keep the questions coming, guys. I'm happy to answer them. Fire away, okay? I also will ask that you guys follow Zina and I on Instagram. I'm at chelsea.wella and Zina is at zhairwarrior. So go ahead and follow us. We also would love it if everybody could follow at Wella Education. I'm going to refer back to that sort of at the end of our presentation today, why it's important that everybody be following Wella Education and all the amazing digital education that we're offering right now and we'll continue to offer into the future. It's really a new sort of wave for us, a new dawn of education in the way that we're bringing that to you guys. So make sure that you guys follow those. I also wanted to say that I know we had planned to do a specific technique and we had advertised it that way, but Zina and I got to talking over the last little bit and considering the current landscape and what everybody's going through right now, we decided to switch it up a little bit and I hope that that's okay. We're still going to bring a balayage technique to you guys. Zina is one of the best balayagers I've ever seen. So Zina is going to demo a balayage technique, her own balayage technique for you guys today, but we really wanted to customize something or curate something for this session that is relevant to everybody right now. We have stylists in Saskatchewan and Manitoba that have already gone, I know I said Saskatchewan because I'm from Ontario, from Saskatchewan, that have already gone back to work, and we have stylists from Manitoba that are getting ready to go back to work. And while this is an exciting time, it's also a time full of a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, myself included. We're all trying to figure out what is this new way going to look like for us? How are we having to protect ourselves? How are we protecting our clients? What is this really going to look like in the salon? So while our provincial governments are really sort of framing what those sorts of things are going to look like for us, Zina and I wanted to come to you today and show you a way that you could bring balayage to clients in a quick, easy way that'll allow those clients to be in the salon for as little time as possible. We're really seeing a lot of guidelines for people to have their clients in and out of the salon. We're seeing people not able to blow dry, not able to do some of the services that our clients usually enjoy. So Zina and I wanted to bring to you guys today a way that we can have clients come into the salon, have high impact color, delight those clients, make sure that we're able to charge the prices that we want, but still keep safe, keep our clients safe, keep ourselves safe, and keep our salon environment safe as well, and minimize the amount of time that are in there. So Zena today is really going to marry the idea that we can still have a balayage service that maybe doesn't take half the day, right? That maybe can be something high impact in less time. Okay, so I apologize for the little bit of agenda change there, but I think you guys are still going to be super jazzed about what we're bringing to the table today. So again, guys, with the questions, feel free to throw them up in the question cards. And Zena, I'm going to throw it over to you with your first head sheet.
Okay, cool. So I've already kind of done the side here for you guys to see, and it's really a combination of a free painting technique with a foiling technique in there. I love free painting. I love the creativity it brings us in the salon. I love the buzz that it causes in the salon, but I know that sometimes it doesn't give us enough brightness that sometimes we're looking for. So I think a combination of the both will really add the brightness that clients want with the dimension that a free paint will give us. So if we look at the head sheet here on the sides, it's a really simple, easy sectioning pattern. We're not going to spend 10 minutes sectioning out our clients. We're just going to go with something really easy, really simple, and we're going to still fit the amount of clients that we need to fit in a day while charging what we need to. So with the side of the sectioning pattern here that Kelsey's brought up, we're just going to go in. It's a profile parting, really simple, and then the sides are just sectioned out. So I'm going to start off with a diagonal forward section, and it is a pretty strong diagonal section, and our foiled highlight is going to sit right on top of this section, and we're going to paint right underneath. So that's kind of what we're seeing with this head sheet that Chelsea brought up here.
So Zena, why are you using the diagonal forward section? What benefit does that give you?
I want to highlight some pieces around her face, and I also want to bring some softness. So rather than doing just like a horizontal section, a diagonal section is going to give us a lot more softness, and it's going to help give us that brightness that we're looking for around her face.
That's awesome. I think that the stylist that does my hair does this, and you guys can see on the side there, I've got quite a bit of impactful color. Even underneath, I've got quite a bit of impactful color, but it doesn't translate when it's all done as looking stripy or, you know, just it translates as being more sort of well done, more organized, and more bespoke for that client.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a medium-sized weave just along this section here. Just like a medium-sized weave like that. And this is the section that we're going to put into a foil. And this is what's really going to give us more brightness and more kind of pops around her face than just a paint would by itself.
Now, what kind of lightener are you using today, Zena?
Sorry?
What type of lightener are you using today?
Oh, so I'm using my Blonde Plex with just 10 volume.
Awesome. So we really believe in the idea that we can lighten a client's hair slow and low. Now, when we're lightening a mannequin head's hair, it's a little bit different, but Zena's not trying to blow that mannequin head away. But we really do believe in low volume developers for full processing time and allowing our client's hair to make sure that we maintain its integrity while we're, you know, in the lightening process. I'm going to let Zena speak about her technique for a little bit longer, and then while she's applying, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about our brand new baby at Wella that we're very excited about, which is Blonde Plex.
All right, so I've just kind of put this section out of my way here because I want to go in and paint the underneath. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm using quite a lot of tension to hold on to my section. When my tension is really loose, I have very little control over this section. So kind of gripping it around the mids here and making sure that I have that tension there will really help with control and a clean application. So
I think tension is so important when we're balayaging too, so overlooked.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. And I've over direct this back just away from her face just a little bit. The reason I do that is because when I'm I don't know, it feels way more comfortable, first of all. When I'm over directing forward, it's going to land in her face. I kind of want her to be comfortable and keep that away from touching her and getting onto her clothing. So, and it's going to fall softer as well. So I'm just going to over direct that back and away. And I'm going to start applying my product just through the mids there. I don't want to start too high because like it could get blotchy. So we want to start lower and then kind of blend up into that.
I think it's important to, when we talk about balayaging as well, or any free painting technique, it's important that we protect that sort of root area. That's more of a detail that we're going to take care of sort of at the end of our foiling process. I see you, Mains by Meg. Clean sections does equal clean results. That's very true. To answer your question in a minute. I think it is really important to have that spot that's near the roots, make sure that it's really, really blended well. And that's something that maybe we could do depending on the type of brush you like or whatever. If we start in that mid shaft and then blend up and down, gives us a more seamless blend. We did have a question in the comments there, Zena. Somebody was wondering if you like to use heat or a Climazon when you're doing your lightning processes.
So when we're using any type of lightener, we don't use any heat. There's no need for heat.
So everything in the Blondor family has a lifting capability of up to 7 levels. Now that's really going to depend on the hair. That's going to depend on our starting level and what our target is. You guys know this, hairdressers know that there's many different factors that play a role in whether or not we're going to be able to lighten and how much we're going to be able to lighten. Nick in the comments is also talking about saturation is super important as well. But yes, we don't advocate to use any sort of heat with our product. To be honest, it doesn't need it.
Saturation is key. Very
true. I'm just going to skip over to a question card here, Zena.
Okay.
If somebody bring them up. It's not really a question. It's more of a statement. Thanks, Nick.
Aw, you're awesome too, Nick. We would die without you.
Right? Somebody else wants to know, Zena, do you always use a paddle for your balayage or your ombres?
For my what?
For your balayage or ombres, do you usually use a paddle?
I always use a paddle when I'm free painting, always. It's really nice because it gives you that hard surface to paint onto. I know a lot of people like to use like the back of their hand. I don't know, my hand has like bumps in it. I don't know about anyone else's, but I need like a solid surface to paint on.
I think they're called tendons. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
Right?
So yes, I think that I think a board is really great. We have a few boards with Wella. We've got our big color ID paddle, and we also have the one that you saw with Zena there. That is our free lights paddle. We do some really beautiful tools along with the free lights paddle. We also have an angled brush. We have a few other things. So great question, guys.
What's awesome about this board is it has that reservoir in there, so you can always put a bit of product if you like to hold onto your board and go back in and grab some of that product without having to put your paddle or your brush down. So that's really handy. I like that about it.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so I'm just taking my next section. I'm just going to throw this medium-sized weave in a foil again. And again, that's going to give us more brightness around your face in these pieces.
Sorry, you guys got an extra close-up of my face. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit, if it's okay with you, Zena, I'm going to talk a little bit about our new baby.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So coming soon to a modern beauty supply near you is this new baby called Blondorplex, and we're very, very, very super extra excited about it. Those of you that know me, I've been excited about this for a long time. And I finally have it in my hot little hand. So for those of you that are Blondor lovers, which in my opinion should be everybody, but for those of you that are Blondor lovers, essentially this is going to be your new super fave. Okay, so our core lightener family is called Blondor. Okay, now contrary to popular belief, the word Blondor actually refers to the family of lighteners. Okay. Um, Everything in the Blondora family is a lightener. Okay. Our core lightener is actually called Multi Blonde. It's in the Robin's Egg blue packaging. Everybody knows it. It's a really, really great lightener. This is our newest edition called Blondoraplex, and I'm sure that you guys have already guessed. This is our core lightener Multi Blonde with our Wellaplex technology built right in. Okay, so you don't have to add your Wellaplex #1 to this. You can just use this the way that you normally would, mix anywhere from 1:1, 1 part powder to 1 part developer, all the way up to 1:2, depending on how you like your lightener, which I think is another thing for me, another reason for me why I continue as a hairstylist to choose the Blondora family, because it does give me the ability to mix my lightener in a few different ways depending on consistency. When I'm doing what Zena's doing, if I'm free painting or balayaging, I tend to mix up a bit of a thicker lightener, maybe at a 1:1 or a 1:1.5. If I'm doing something in a foil, maybe I'll mix it at 1:2. But a fun little trick that I picked up from our US team, we believe that thicker lightener will lift a bit quicker. So if you're looking for a little back pocket sort of trick to make your lightener lift a little bit faster, mix it a bit thicker. Okay, so this is our new baby, Blondoraplex. Again, you would use this. You don't have to add #1 to it. It's already in there. And then we would finish up at the sink with our Wellaplex #2. Okay, and of course we have our take-home products in our Wellaplex family. We also have a Wellaplex #3 that's packaged in a 100 ml take-home size. That really is should be a mandatory retail buy for any client getting a lightning service involving your Wellaplex technology anytime. Okay. So if you guys have questions about Blondoraplex, please throw them into the question cards. I am happy to answer them, but it's going to be a beautiful summer with this baby. Okay, so I think Zena is starting to get to the top there. Zena, is this technique that you're showing us also going to have a money piece?
Have a base?
Sorry, a money piece?
Oh, a money piece, yes, yeah. So I've already sectioned out the money piece right there. It's kind of just like an inch in that fringe area. It's a bit of a curved section just to give us a softer section there. And I've sectioned it out already because sometimes you just get so into the paint, you forget to do this part. So I've sectioned it out so that I remember for later.
Now, Zena, is there ever a situation that you would maybe start with the money piece?
Yeah, I think if her hair is on the darker side, or you know, if she wants these to be a bit brighter than everything else, like you could start in the money piece for sure, and then you won't forget to do it.
Yeah, right. Hairdresser life, you hear me? I think it's important to say, guys, too, that when we're balayaging somebody's hair, I don't know, Instagram Live doesn't give me an age demographic of everybody that, you know, listening right now or is tuned in. But back in the day in hair school, we learned like 1 or 2 sort of sectioning patterns, and we did the same head of foils over and over and over again, sort of copy and pasted it from client to client. Now with that we're balayaging a lot more, we're doing a lot more freehand stuff. We're really curating services for our clients. We're really making sure that these services, these balayage services that we're doing, are really custom for that client. So I don't want you guys to see these head sheets and be taking screenshots with your phone, which you're more than welcome to do, and be thinking, I have to stick to this. We really want to provide you with a framework in order to be able to create a service that makes sense for your client based on their hair type, their hairline, their needs. You know, with Zena and I were speaking yesterday, with a money piece, you would never do a money piece right in the front that's lined straight up to the top. For somebody that goes to the gym every day and pulls their hair back, it's going to look real chunky, you know, and that like I had to choke that one out. I think you guys saw that. It hurt a little coming out, you know. So we really want to make sure that you guys feel empowered to use these techniques as a framework, but really make them their own. They don't belong to us anyway.
Yeah, like even in these foils here, you could always do a slice or like a baby light or a microwave. It doesn't have to be like a medium sized weave. it can be really tailored to your client's texture and porosity and like the density and how thick those pieces have to be. Sorry, my girl just keeps moving.
She's got somewhere to be, Z.
Very realistic to clients in the salon with bobbleheads. They just don't stop. And especially with this technique, you really need to have that tension, and she just keeps coming with me.
I bet how many of you guys at home going back to the salon are really going to have that that client that, you know, you pull on their hair and they're doing one of these, right? It's really hard to maintain your attention.
Sometimes on those clients, I'm so reluctant to do a paint because I know that it's going to take me like twice as long because she won't stop moving.
Well, so officially speaking, Wella doesn't advocate for kicking or punching these people, but you know, it's sometimes you want to. I hear you. Hairdresser life. So somebody wants to know what your mannequin's name is, Z.
Her name is Judy. She's my best.
All your mannequins?
Doesn't everyone name their mannequins?
I do.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys this part here because I'm getting closer to the top now, and a lot of time when I get closer to the top, I don't want to do pieces as chunky or as thick. Can you guys see? Can you see that, Chelsea?
Yep.
Do I need to turn her?
I think you're good there.
She's fighting me a bit. I'm sorry. So instead of doing like a medium-sized weave, when I get kind of to the last couple sections, I'll often do a bit of a finer weave, like almost a baby light, and that's just because I like there to be a softer blend on the top and a more seamless kind of transition into the more impactful pieces underneath.
Okay, and you guys can see in that the head sheet that I have up there that Zena's got the money piece in the front, and then still continuing on with her diagonal sections there. I'm just going to switch over to a couple of questions here, Z. Somebody wanted to know, do you always paint in a V?
Let me show you with this next piece, actually. I was just about to show you something different.
Yay, go for it.
So I will answer your question in a minute.
So there is another one, so I will switch over to that. When hand painting, do you start from the front or the back?
I actually often start in the front. Sometimes I start in the front and sometimes I start in the back. I do often start in the front because sometimes free lights takes a little bit longer to process, so I want more impact in the front. Sometimes I do start in the back though. I think it just depends on the client. So can I answer?
I think that's a good point. I know that the girl that does my hair, I have very dark hair naturally. All that dark at the top is my own. And I know that she's very strategic in where she starts to place highlights in my hair because my hair is so dark, and she knows that I want to have the impact in the front. Right? So I think, thank you for your question. And I think that the answer to the question is really just like most non-formula related questions is really going to depend on the client. It's really going to depend on what their needs are, where they want their color placed, what sort of inspiration we're going from. And, you know, all of those sort of factors, right?
Okay, so when I'm looking at this piece here, often through the top with a lot of balayages, I see that the top tends to have, for some, I feel like the top tends to have a lot of really light pieces really high up in this area. And sometimes I feel like it looks kind of off, if that makes sense. So with this top area, I really want this to kind of give us a transition into the back. So just visualizing this piece here, I really want to see some brightness around her face, but I want to see some depth through the rest of this piece. So I'm actually going to start painting her higher up on this side here. She's slowly turning, sorry. I can't control her. And rather than go to my other side and make this side high and make it into a V, I'm actually just gonna continue on with this kind of shape that I'm going for and kind of bring this down. So it's kind of like this.
Yeah, we've kind of got like a sort of diagonal line now. Zena, are you going to use that beautiful Wella free brush to blend that in?
This brush?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Ah, girl.
My angles.
Those ones are my faves. Before we came out with those, I used to take the old Wella color brushes and a pair of really sharp fabric shears and hack off the ends of them. They didn't work as well as the ones we have now.
Another thing that I like to do is with my paddle is I tend to hold my paddle at an angle when I'm painting, kind of like with my section to the corner here rather than straight across, because I find that product tends to get built up through this area. And sometimes when you look underneath, it can kind of cause like a crease or a line. So when I turn my paddle and kind of keep the section of hair through this point, it just gives us a seamless blend through the underneath sections as well.
Are you checking the underneath of your sections to make sure that they're blended as well?
Yeah, like I'll have a little peek once I've saturated this, once I've saturated the ends here, like I'll just make sure these are really saturated since saturation is key. Sorry, she's turning. You guys can't see.
Okay, we can still see. Oh,
there we go. See all that saturation there? And then I'll kind of flip it over and just have a little peek and make sure that's all blended out as well.
I think that's one of the things when I'm teaching live balayage classes back in what seems like forever ago. One of the things that sort of I'm always talking to people about and you know, having hairstylist practice is that idea of saturation, that if you can see or through it, are you really saturated? Have we opened that to see? Okay.
It'll be so nice to work on people again, won't it?
Oh, you're telling me. I have a 7-year-old here that has, you know, virgin hair that I'm really, really trying hard not to color on, but I have the so I'm just quickly, Zena, going to talk about toning a little bit. I know toning is something that we talk a lot about in the salon, and it's something that I get a lot of questions about. A couple of points with toning. I'm going to pull out this fun little tool that I liberated from the Wella studio in LA. This is our level finder. Okay, so all of your swatch books have one of these. They don't look exactly like this, but they do have a level finder that will help you guys to see what the level of the hair is after you lighten it. You can also use the one for the natural levels. Okay, I think this is really, really important because I'll tell you guys, as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, 9 times out of 10, if you have an issue with your toner, if you get unexpected results or anything like that, it's because it's the wrong level. I've seen this time and time again. So I think it's really important to make sure that you're using your level finder. Even the most experienced hairstylist, I've been doing hair for 21 years and I still use my level finder. It's my buddy. The second thing I wanted to talk about is one of my most favorite things. It's actually my favorite thing that we make. And one of my faves to tone with is this fun guy. This is Illumina. And if you have never used Illumina, if you don't have any experience with this, I encourage you to try it. It's so great. It's part of our professional portfolio. It's a translucent permanent or a sheer permanent. It's a really beautiful color line that leaves the hair really close to looking, really close to virgin looking, up to 100% coverage, but it's really going to give you that natural looking, cool result. It's got a violet base to it, and it's absolutely my favorite thing that we make. I go through so much Illumina. This is one of our new shades from our Opalescence range. So if you haven't tried Illumina ever, I encourage you to grab a couple of tubes and give her a go. It's really, really beautiful color.
All right, should we get going on this money piece then?
Yeah, give her.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to take this down, and it's just about 1 inch into that bang area, that fringe area. And this is really simple and really quick. So I'm just going to take a horizontal section. There we go. And the first piece here is going to kind of be a baby light, because like Chelsea said, I think a lot of people, when they pull their hair back, they don't want to see a stripe against their hairline. So I'm just going to do a really fine micro light there. I'm going to put that right to the root using our Blonderplex and 10 ball.
Now, when you put it right to the root like that, Zena, are you planning on blending this at the sink with a root melt?
Yeah, we're going to soften this later with a root melt.
Awesome.
Just to give her some more dimension. And given more of a seamless effect as well.
Totally. I love dilution. It's my fave. Somebody's asking in the comments, do we have a favorite toner we love from Illumina? That's an easy answer for me. It's 9-stroke 60. What about you, Z?
From Illumina?
Yep.
Oh, I love so many Illumina shades. I love the 943s. I love the 805s. Like, most people love the ashy shades, and I do too, but I love Illumina's warm shades because of that violet rose base that it has. Yep. It just has such a different type of warmth than the other lines that we have.
Totally. I think too, in Illumina, I love 9-stroke 4-3. I also love to use 6-stroke 1-6 as a toner. Even though it's a level 6, it's just real smoky and beautiful. There's a few other shades coming up in the comments there. Somebody else was asking as well in the question cards, do we use Illumina with Pastel Developer? And the answer to that is yes. You can use Illumina with any, but you can actually use Illumina with any of our developers, with anything in the KP family or anything in the Color Touch family. You can feel free with your developer choices. For toning, yes, I would be in a Pastel or Color Touch 6 ball. So what did you do with that section you're layering on top there, Z?
So this one, I just did a back-to-back large weave. Like I did a large weave right next to that micro light there. And after this, I'm gonna do one more back-to-back weave.
So you're layering different types of foils, one on top of the other, right?
Yes, yeah, just to still give us dimension through that money piece as well, just so they're not all the same.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention too, guys, that I know she already had part of the mannequin done when everybody tuned in, but when you guys saw her put her sections into the side here, we certainly saw her drive that lightener right up to the root here and pull it back towards the back of the mannequin. Part of that is also going to connect her money piece in with those pieces on the side to give it more of a connected blend. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody who has a really well done piece that isn't connected with the rest of their color at all. So having that mindfulness of where your foils are going in is really great. Somebody in the comments is mentioning pastel and post color treatment. Love that as well. That's our glossing service that we do with our Illumina color. You can also do it with our KP color as well.
I can't wait to read these comments later.
I know, right? Okay, so I think what we're gonna do now, guys, we're just over half hour in. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about before we sign off. So first of all, we obviously in the next couple of minutes, Zena's not gonna have this fully processed and blow dried. But for those of you that maybe don't know this, today's Instagram Live is actually part of a series. This is the first one of a series. So for the next 6 weeks, you're going to see our team of Wella educators from the western part of the country tuning in and doing Instagram Lives on this modern Instagram account every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 6 weeks at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you guys want to see the finish on this mannequin with the root melt done and with all of that stuff done, you're going to want to tune in this coming Thursday, which I believe will be May 7th. To see the finish on this with the root melt and a few other things. It's going to be Zena again with one of our other educators, Nichelle. And then we will have weeks and weeks of education after that. I encourage you guys to make sure, again, that you're following Zena and I on Instagram. It's at chelsea.wella and at Zena Hair Warrior, or Z Hair Warrior, sorry. And then also at Wella Education. We have been doing, since COVID started and took over all of our lives, Wella Education has been doing live virtual education every day. So please make sure you're following Wella Education to see all of our virtual education offerings, which is tons. We're doing Instagram Lives, we're doing Zoom meetings, we're doing all kinds of subject matter, hair color and business building and cutting. And it's really a treasure trove of free online education. So please take advantage of that. And then I also wanted to mention, for those of you that are into our competition stuff, we are also still going with our BEA awards. We transformed into a digital format, but you can enter a mannequin head. So if you are at home and bored to tears, please grab a mannequin head, do some hair, enter it in the BEA awards. Rules and regulations and how to enter, guys, is at envisionawards.com. So please check that out as well. And last but not least, guys, a long time ago, a very important man taught me that we are not the owners of our education. We are only the caretakers of it. These techniques and the things that you guys are learning in this time, they don't belong to us. This technique doesn't belong to Zena. Nothing belongs to us. So pay forward your education, guys. Go and share it with your teams. Get on Instagram and make sure that you guys are sharing your education, because your time today was wasted if you poured the education to yourself. So thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. We miss you. We can't wait to see you again. And please remember that we're all in this together.
Thanks, guys. See you guys on Thursday.